there's a way you guys carry yourselves, the millennials. It's a different way, the way we carry ourselves. For example, Gen Z, man, we are used to being emotional and authentic. You guys barely show emotions.
Crazy.
Yes.
No, facts.
Which is true, right? It's true. When was the last time you told a girl you're feeling low?
You can tell a millennial by their look. They're carrying things on their shoulders. You know what I mean? They just look at their shoulders and you just go, hey, this guy's seen things. He's not spoken about them. You can't teach anyone to have a presence. That just comes from something within you, So like even what Albie said, I think that energy when you walk into a room, you can easily tell, oh, this guy's trying too hard to be too cool. You know what I mean?
I've seen majority of my boys cry. And I don't think it's a weakness at all, There's something that someone looks for you in a relationship that you as a growing man cannot give.
Yeah.
Wait, is he talking about daddy issues?
Yeah.
Basically.
This Gen Zers are strict.
And you might not have a father, but God is everyone's father.
There we go.
You get it?
Yeah. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Mantalk.ke. Thank you for coming back for another week of conversation. Once again, like the last episode, we're here at Glee Nairobi. It's one of the newest locations in Runda. This place has around 200 rooms. It has over 5 restaurants, and the aesthetic and the staff have been outstanding today. So we encourage you, if you need a place to stay or have meetings or to eat some good food, to pop down. Also, this episode is sponsored by Johnnie Walker. We've been talking all about brighter stories this season, and today is no different. So I'm going to let Oscar tell you a little bit more about the kind of stories we're talking about today. Mr. Connor.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no brighter story.
Hello.
There's no brighter story than the one on set today. The Gen Z generation. They've come, they've taken over. I can't introduce these people. They need to introduce themselves. Just the way they've been introducing the country to them.
Drama.
So I'm going to start from my left, Mr. Chairman, kindly.
Thank you so much. My name is Tupac Keith Gatiramo. Wow, I think introducing yourself is usually the hardest thing someone asks you to do. But today I'll introduce myself a little bit differently. I think for this season in my life, I've been called to speak to men. So that's me. Yeah, the other titles, they could disappear any day. So yeah, but for now, I think I'm in a season where I've been called to speak to men. So yeah.
Cool.
No pressure, guys.
No pressure, guys. Mr. Fancy, tell us your name.
Oh, it's me.
Yes, it is.
Oh, hi. My name is Albie, and I make people smile. Yeah, that sounds basic, but yes, I just make people smile.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Lovely. Hey guys, my name is Muli. Thanks for having me, guys. It's actually very nice to be on set with you guys. I would say right now who I am is a child exploring his curiosities, beyond the titles and the accolades and everything, that's who I am right now in this season. I'm moldable.
Yes, as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, if we stop the cameras right now, Mantalk is finished. What more needs to be done? What more needs to be said? And today, I just wanted us to dive into so many different topics. You guys have been changing Kenya, changing the way we think, changing the way we feel, shaking it up and breaking it. As we begin the episode, right? I want Keith to begin by telling us what his definition of masculinity is, especially in today's changing society. There's so much changing. Like culture, you guys are pushing the boundaries of culture, like lifestyle, content. So what does masculinity mean to you guys? I feel like you guys are doing a lot to change that.
First of all, I don't know who Keith is. My name's Tupac. Wow, masculinity in today's context. For me, I think one of the most amazing things about men in today's world is the fact that we're able to redefine what masculinity means to us. Before it's been strong, been this, been ambitious, been what, but you could still also be strong and ambitious, but also caring and present. A lot of things that we've seen maybe the generations before us not have. But for me, one key word that to me defines masculinity is responsibility. And I think a man needs to be responsible. And that's how we're judged. Each one of us is how responsible you are with the things that you are given. We say he's a good president because of how responsible he is with the country. We say he's a good father because of how responsible he is with the family. So I think for me, masculinity is how responsible am I with the things entrusted to me.
Hey, I'd hate to go.
Yeah,
I'd
we starting like, do you know what I mean? We can't be starting like that.
hate to go after that. Do you need more time, sir?
What are you supposed to say now?
Okay,
Just
what was I
smile,
supposed
just
to say? Yeah, but wait, mine is basically just to add on what he said. Yeah, masculinity is being present, being bold. That's what I think, and being honest and genuine and authentic. Because I feel like the previous generations, you guys defined masculinity as something very different, and now we Gen Z have come in to like shuffle it up.
How have we defined it differently?
For example,
Give us.
yes, there's a way you guys carry yourselves, the millennials. It's a different way the way we carry ourselves. For example, Gen Z men, we are used to being emotional and authentic. You guys barely show emotions.
Crazy.
Yes.
No, facts.
Which is true, right? It's true. When was the last time you told a girl you're feeling low?
Damn.
Last week.
Damn, Oscar.
Last week.
Damn, man.
Last week.
He's right. He's right. I'm not telling a girl I'm feeling low, man. I'm telling my boys, but that girl never find out.
Yeah, exactly. Gen Z are different. We'll tell the girl, like, today I'm just feeling low, so don't text me, don't call me, don't look at me.
And the girls on set, the girls on set.
What's happening here?
Save the day.
Next question. Because what am I supposed to say after all these?
No, give us your perspective, my brother.
I think I'll be honest. When we talk about masculinity in our generation, most men our age are very. There's no filters. You know what I mean? I think what he's trying to also say, not to say what you're trying to say, but what I would also say to that is, we don't have as many filters as you guys have. You guys have this persona of you have to present yourself in a certain way. I mean, nowadays I think more men are led with their emotions, actually. Even though it might be a bit contradictory, but it's like we have people who are not shy of their emotions. So, when you find your grandfather, your great-grandfather, you look at your lineage, most of them you'd never hear I love you in the household. And so you see more men now saying I love you, baby. And you see there's memes even now showing like, I know you whisper in that baby voice to your girl. You know what I mean? Because it's like we have this sense of freedom that I think is now, even if you look at now Gen Alphas, those guys are reckless. You know what I mean? It's just getting worse. But
that's how we feel about you guys. That's how we feel about you guys.
You know what I mean? So I think us guys generally have that sense of freedom. Like, it's an aura. I think it's an aura and an energy. You can like I was telling my guys, I had a conversation. You can tell a millennial by their look. They're carrying things on their shoulders. You know what I mean? They just look at their shoulders and you just go, hey, this guy's seen things. He's not spoken about them. Yeah. And it's just it's a burden and a weight they're carrying. But you see, us guys, we just have that sense of this guy, it's like, doesn't think he almost is invincible. You know what I mean?
Everyth's out.
So it is what it is type thing.
Yeah, I honestly think you guys are invincible, man. When I once saw tear gas, some guy in a Lilo the Stitch suit, man, took the canister, and he inhaled it, and he chapad this dance. I was like, nah, you guys are different. The breed is different.
I think you're correct, because when we started Mantalk, and this is why this conversation is so interesting, we were of the same mindset of you guys, right? But we felt like there was a barrier that we had to sort of push. So now we're on the other side with you, with more vulnerability, with this platform. But what's so interesting is now listening to you at the same age we were, feeling so free with that kind of mindset, because we didn't feel free. We'll do season 3, episode 3, like 6 years ago, vulnerability is strength. There was no one else having this kind of conversations. So I want to find out, like, if your fathers and our generation aren't informing that mindset, where's it coming from? Do you think it's the internet? Do you think it's the kind of conversations you have outside of the cameras? Where's that freedom coming from? I'll ask Albie first.
Okay, if we go the family route, I feel like I'm the breaker of chains in every way, including emotionally. Because I think my dad used to be stern, you know how like our fathers used to be, yes. But then I came and broke that boundary.
How?
Just over the years, the way we interact with my dad, and also he started softening up and getting into the mental world, getting to know about stuff. So he's become very understanding. He's like my boys now. Yeah, we can literally talk about me getting dumped and
Just can't relate.
Yeah.
The millennial jumps out.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, wait.
But yeah, so our generation is just the way he said, the aura is there. So you see, like as we're sitting right now, we believe in energy as Gen Z. So by the time we leave this conversation, he will become more emotional. So if you have a girlfriend, she's about to get emotions tonight. Hello.
And then he doesn't lie. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, we're very honest. So that's just us.
Help me define this aura thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Are we clocking it? What's the clock? The aura?
No,
Aura
me,
is
I want to know
clocking
about
the-
aura. Don't let the men tell me
I'm playing
about
into the
aura.
age thing.
It's an invisible thing, you know.
Yeah.
It speaks before you speak. And a lot of, you know, the thing, a lot of Gen Zs can tell you, like they can sift through you. Like they can look at you and know this guy is just faking it. This guy is actually trying too hard. You know what I mean? It's a thing of like, we can sense authenticity and you can see like, that's why no one watches news. Gen Z does rarely. They just know that it's a script. You know what I mean? Like people want the raw, unfiltered, like just tell me how it is type thing. And so when you have an aura that's very like, you know, you're tensed up and everything, it's easy to see it as a Gen Z. Like we can see right through it. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's really powerful.
Do you feel like as millennials we could see it, but it was just the code of conduct, so you don't address it? So now we're all just uptight. And no one's talking about it.
I don't even think we see it, dog. Like what they're telling us is like, it's like they've gotten this invisible power. Like while us we are busy carrying weights trying to be Superman. Then they're like, unbreak the chains, my nigga. Like, unbreak the chains.
I feel like you guys know what we're talking about, but you just never put a term to it. Like, have you ever been in a situation where someone walks into a room and you just feel his presence? Or everyone just starts acting a bit different. Yeah, now that's the aura.
But you're just more conscious of it and you lean into it rather than
So
wish we
just
started
energy.
Mantalk at this age. It
I
seems
mean,
so
I
much more
said
freeing.
something on my Instagram. I said you can't teach presence, you become it. So it's a deep statement, but in essence, what I'm saying is you can't teach anyone to have a presence. That
have
just
to build
comes
it.
from something within you, you know. So like even what Albie said, I think that energy when you walk into a room, you can easily tell, oh, this guy is trying too hard to be too cool. You know what I mean? Like he's not just actually cool within himself. It's a confidence, an inner confidence. you know?
But it's hard. Like, don't you guys think it's because for us, like, I'll tell you the way you've put it, like, we had to get bullied, like our generation especially. Like, for us to develop that, like, presence, like you've said, you had to go through so much. Like, even among your boys, you had to be able to be like, first body was something from our generation. Like, there was a
What's first
guy.
body?
You see, that's first generation thing. So, first body. You see, first body is like the guy in class who could whoop everyone. And so there are constant contests on who's the guy who's the strongest. You will send your chopi. That's the guy who's the smartest. So, like, you are known by something.
Yeah, Gen Z call it aura farming.
Is that what you, okay, that's the slow-mo video, right?
Like you know, like we you had to be like, for us millennials, like growing up and growing into your masculinity, you had to be known as a particular type of guy. And there was a guy who took pride in being known as the guy for chicks. That guy he knows women. That other guy is smart. So like we embodied that to a point. Maybe those definitions maybe changed us. Whereas you guys allow yourselves to be yourselves and you still get that respect. And if you're not, and if you are seen as being at the bottom of that hierarchy of like, oi, everybody in class can whoop you, then it means that like no one rates you. I think now that's a Gen Z term. No, whereas you guys, it seems you're way more tolerant to different personalities, to openness and stuff. Maybe that's the...
I think, like just from like what you say is, one of the things I think is the older generations have been judged based on external validation. The newer generations, it's more internal validation. You get?
That's deep.
So when you have external validation, there's a lot that goes wrong because, you know, I can come and say this about you, this about you, this about you. But if your validation comes internally, there's not much that can be taken from that. So I think that's what's happening with newer generations. There's a lot more internal validation, but then also that's also a bit, there's a contradiction there because also social media comes and now does external validation, but it's learning to embody yourself a lot more.
But go ahead, Dila.
So to do with like external validation, right? One thing I've realized with my group of millennials is our brotherhood looks very different to what I think yours is. I don't know if you guys are exception to the rule, or if this is a blanket statement for your generation. But for us, our brotherhood has only evolved after we've all gone through life challenges and had to lean on each other. So, for example, some of my boys back home, when I've gone through a tough period, I've lent on him. And now just by proxy, he's hearing about the convos we're having. And now he feels more free to open up as well. So I'm curious to know about brotherhood with this kind of openness. Do you feel that it's a very raw experience, or are there still barriers to talking about emotions, etc.?
I'd say it's similar as well. I would say you find now we get to a place where it's like, what's really bringing us together as boys? You know, because you see, there are guys they're car guys, sports guys, guys for bashing. So it's like you sort of find a clique based on your own area of expression. So I think with now my boys and I, everyone does different things, but what brings us together is we have a similar mindset. So it's a mindset that draws us together of like, we actually understand it's hard being a man. Like, you know what I mean? Like bottling up things doesn't help anyone. It just does more damage. So we're brought together by that understanding more than just like, we've experienced things and then life has whooped us. And we come here together and we talk and we laugh and we cry together. So it's more of just like, we have an understanding that as a man, you can't walk alone. You know? Shout out Johnnie Walker.
There we go. How's it for your group?
Okay, for me, basically, I feel like, yes, I'm very open with people. And if I have bros who are not as open, I feel like I'll be very distant to them. So that's just how we are.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're just open, we're open. So if you're going through something, tell me you're going through something and I'll do the same. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. So I feel like our generation, we humanize ourselves, which also helps us bros to lift each other up. Because the more, you know, like you guys, you hide a lot of things emotionally. That's why most of you guys are always just rough and...
Harvey does not understand. As a concept, millennials, as a concept, you're so flawed. That's what I'm hearing.
Like, I mean, you guys wake up and just, you know, you're just... Like, I've not slept in 6 days and I'm just here smiling. Come on.
I think brotherhood is probably the most important thing a man can have, you know? And I don't think we take enough time to build the right brothers around us. I think also that's a mistake maybe I made earlier on in life, you know. I wanted to build like my brotherhood around maybe the coolest people or this and this kind of people. But I think I've shifted that mindset. And once that mindset changed, I think like God has placed some amazing brothers in my life, you know. And for me, when I consider brother, it's a saying that usually comes. It's actually a proverb. It says, iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another. So you ask yourself, these friends I have, are they sharpening me? Yes. And with sharpening, it means you're not in competition with the other guy. Because there are a lot of male friendships that exist, but guys are in permanent competition. You know, the guy is eyeing your girl, or the guy is eyeing your job, or the guy is eyeing this or eyeing that about you, you know, but you're there saying, yeah, gang. You know, and it exists. If you walk around Nairobi, it permanently exists. You'll hear conversations for, oh my God, this guy's, you know, it's crazy. So it's just sitting back and understanding. And that's why, like what Albie said is, the moment someone is really vulnerable to you about their situations, it allows you to be vulnerable to them. You get? Facts. So it's the shallow. Once the shallow ends, it's how deep things go. And I think for me, as I know my boys would probably hate this that I say this, but I've seen majority of my boys cry. And I don't think it's a weakness at all, you know. It's addressing something that's of concern to you. Have you seen Eli cry?
Yes.
Several. You can see a tear right now.
Have you told Eli you love him?
Yes.
Listen, no, hold on, pause. Because 2 episodes ago, the last episode, Healthy You, did we cut that out of the last episode? Because I started by saying, Oscar, I've never heard you say I love you. And he went round in circles and then started the episode. On camera, crazy. I went home that night and that's when he saw me cry. Because, I'm joking. But I think we've both seen each other.
Yeah, we have. But the truth about it is, you're right in highlighting that as a gap in our generation, where it's like emotional vulnerability. Like I've told you, like we come from I come from a generation where, and a bit of an upbringing where like I had to punch some people in the mouth for my friends, and I had to punch some people. I got punched in the mouth for some of my other friends because we believed in hierarchies, right? And that's probably that competition thing you're talking about, where like there's even in a friend, even in a friend group, there are hierarchies. There's a guy who pays for the booties when they come to the table. That's how I grew up until I became one of the guys who can actually be able to do that, and respect was allocated that way, right? So maybe it's I'll admit that generationally, we're removing these. I don't want to use a word here that I like to avoid using, a patriarchal hierarchy kind of construct within our friendships and within our male relationships, and now we're moving towards a more empathetic, flat structure where everybody has earned their respect by being themselves. Because previously, like I said, you had to earn that respect. You had to be the guy who walks in and you earn it, and a lot of external validation. But the question I have to ask you guys as young men who are very public, very front-facing, Mr. Albi very quickly informed us it's nearly 1 million people on TikTok. Very fast! Very fast. We found out that the man has nearly 1 million TikTok followers. How do you handle that, like social exposure, and how does that affect you as men? And how are you managing that in your behavior and in yourselves?
I mean, I'm curious to hear what Albi says.
Mr. 1M.
Yeah, it changed my life in a lot of ways. First of all, one thing that it cut out is like spending time with family in public. I can't go shopping with my parents anymore. Yeah, because my mom is afraid of, like, how do I put it? She gets anxious when there's crowds and all. So if I walk into a mall, it's a problem. So it's definitely put a lot of pressure. And then, now I'm known for making people smile. So if I want to crash out, I can't crash out in public. And maybe someone's daughter has decided to annoy me that day, so I can't be annoyed because I'm in front of people. And if it's the first time they're meeting me, they want to see some smiley guy. I
have a different problem, but it's very interesting seeing the perspective of, even I'm not as public as Albi yet, but the thing is, writing a book, I wrote a book when, like 2 years ago, that came in, it was like an intro to who this guy is, who's this young guy writing a book. So when people read the book and now they saw this guy is actually extremely vulnerable, like I'm talking about societal issues like porn men struggle with, it's like, hey, you see, sometimes now even on social media you have to bleep out that porn, like you have to say corn, because it's such a sensitive matter, because we're dealing with I think there's two sides. We're a lot more empathetic, but then there's also extremes of a bit too sensitive, so that you know there's no room for now failure. If I want to say something, I have to filter it in a way that doesn't hurt people. So I personally have the struggle of, when I put myself out there, there's this stigma that comes with, oh, he speaks wisdom, or he thinks he knows everything. So some people have told me, this guy, I don't like him because he thinks he knows everything, or he's too self-conceited, or he's prideful and everything. And so it's just part of like understanding who I am at my core, because if now you really hear these things and you see comments that are like, this guy thinks he knows everything, and you're like, I'm really just trying to say something that's on my mind. And of course, like, I like how you said this off camera, that you just putting yourself out there, you attract all different types of opinions, perspectives, and so it's just getting used to, I think, exposure therapy. I've talked about this. The more you just put yourself out there, the more you get desensitized to the negative, and then even the positive. Because as a man, I think when you're easily moved by people's opinions, you can't really stand in this day and age. Because people will say, they'll praise you one day, the next day you make a mistake, they'll hate you. So now if you're like really building your brand on validation from people who don't even really know you at your core, you're gonna fail. So I think for me it's just the balance of knowing that I'm young, I'm still trying to figure out my life. I don't have everything. That persona of this guy talking about this, he must have, perfected his life. Like, the people who've reached out to me, I'm sure you've had this saying, yo, send me money, I need money. Like, because I'm like, yo, I myself, I've even trying to find money for myself.
You send me money.
So it's like, there's this persona and image people have of you when you speak your mind and you articulate yourself well, he's successful. And so it's like, I'm not trying to fall victim of premature success, because that's just, and then also there's a proverb that says, don't let yourself be overly wise or overly righteous. So it's just living in a balanced place where I might crash out in front of you, but I'm calm. You know what I mean?
So, how have you found freedom in that? Like, being able to balance the two? especially with your intro being quite profound the way you speak. How have you found that freedom? Yeah.
I think it's learning that I'm a kid at heart, you know. So at the end of the day, I can say something that will wow you. I can say something deep, but I can also make you laugh, and I can also be very lighthearted. So it's about allowing myself to express all the sides of me, because we're all multifaceted people. And I think just not allowing myself to put on a box where I'm an athlete, entrepreneur, author, these things. I don't really want to introduce myself with titles and all these things, because it's like, at the end of the day, on your deathbed, who are you going to be remembered for? That's the introspective awareness I sort of have. And so it comes from a lot of meditation of like, I don't want to put myself in a box. So let me just be me.
Kudos, man. Kudos.
Cheers, mate.
Keith, you
No, I think he said it perfectly. It's you know, I think sometimes because people maybe see us online, they think we're this one person, but we're different people, you know? And it's giving someone that grace to understand that he's not just this maybe perfect podcast host, or he's not this perfect athlete. He's human as well, you know? So I try to be as authentic as I can with you know, my content or what I post out there, because actually, let me just take you back. I think one of the reasons why I went or I did a podcast was because I met this young man at the Alchemist bar, and I was ordering shots, and he came and he was like, "Yo, can I talk to you?" And I'm like, "Chill, let me get my drink, then we talk." And then he sits me down and he's like, "Yo, you know, I wish I was you." Then I'm like, "What? That's crazy." But anyways, he gives me an explanation. He's like, "Oh, you know, I kind of see like, you know, you're living this really nice life, whatever." At that time, I didn't even want to be myself. I'd even changed my Tupac Keith handle on Instagram to Sad Nigga Chronicles, because I was going through it. And then I was like, damn, you want to tell me this is the impact that you can have on someone? So that also balances what I post online or how I show myself online. And I'm also very like, I tell people like, yeah, me, I still like to have fun and everything. So there's the serious me when I sit on this seat, but there's the fun me.
Yeah, we know
and
him.
both of them are equally nice.
You know him.
Yeah, you know him, yeah?
Well aware.
I'm a bit pleasantly surprised, gentlemen.
Why?
Because the reality is, you guys are, not only are you like that multifacetedness, yes, of speaking to the fact that, you know, you have a public image, you know, that does have its downsides and its upsides, but you're all very centered. You know, that's not something we picked when we were picking you guys to come on the pod.
No, wait, I'm not centered.
Like, yeah, I feel like you guys are very...
These two are centered, because he just said something like the person online and the person in real life are different. For me, it's the same person. That's why I crash out. I am known for smiles, and I'm also known for starting Kenyan wars on TikTok. Like this thing that happens on TikTok, if someone mentions Kenya in their video and they're not from Kenya, and you see Albi in the comment section,
it's a fight.
Yeah,
it's
a
a
long
bloodbath.
day.
Yeah. What are you saying in the comment section in this scenario?
So I just start like, you know, I just bring up the Kenyans. Well, I can't say the things I say. I mean,
But what are you trying to say without saying it?
Oh,
Are you
okay,
defending the person in the video?
no, I'm coming like you summoned Kenyans. We're here.
Yes, there's did you guys see the African American guy who came to Kenya and started talking crap? Yes. Were you among the guys?
Oh yeah.
Well, for that, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. I think some people came to Kenya and had too much ugali.
It's crazy. It's needed.
But you know also like what I mean by multifaceted. I don't know if you guys saw the TikTok trend for the police officers, and then they're like at night you're seeing like a lady, she's a police officer, but then at night she's like twerking on a table and everything. And I'm like,
yeah, of course.
Different
you're
algorithm.
allowed to have balance in your life, you know. Yes.
Wow.
I'll actually show you the trend after this. It's a crazy trend. Like you'll find a guy is even protecting the president.
Oh, I think
but
I've
he's
seen
also
this.
unless he's smoking a shisha and you're asking yourself, is a shisha illegal? You see, there's so many like crazy things, but it allows you to know that you're not one person. You know, and even you look at it, you're a son, you're a brother, you're a cousin, you're not. So it's allowing someone to understand that and balance it out.
Like that's exactly what I mean by centered. Where you guys coming on Saturday, it seems that you're comfortable with whichever definition society gives you, because you get your own definitions from yourself. And that's what's become very clear as we keep talking. Now I'm going to take the conversation to a place that it's very important. You know, you're a young man. We are all young men trying to figure this out.
Yes, uncle.
Yes, I'm now. 6 years podcast.
Come on.
No, I'm an old man.
Bro, no, you set the trend for us, so thank you so much.
Following footsteps,
Don't say it
man.
loudly. You know, if someone hears it, huh?
I'll be in the comments.
Give a man his flowers when he can still smell them.
Wait, did you drink maziwa nyao?
Yeah. I did not drink maziwa nyayo. I missed it by a bit, but I was in primary school when Moi was president. So if that's the question you asked, I was there when there was a bomb blast. Do you remember that? No, you don't. I know. I remember the day we had a bomb blast. So yeah, anyway, so the question I'm asking now is, I want us to move towards relationships, right? And trends in relationships.
Yeah.
What do you think, like, how do you think, like, as men, especially millennial men, how do we date differently from, because I know you have friends who are Gen Z women. So what's the difference relationally between how we handle women and how your generation handles women in relationships?
I like millennial women.
Please say more.
I dislike Gen Z females.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Let him come. Let him on camera. Let him talk it. There we go.
I feel like Gen Z females have gotten to a point where they're so numb. They're just emotionally tied. I mean, materialistically tied. Everything has to do with money. So if it's I love you, 10,000. You know, I miss you, 20,000. You can't have any serious conversation with them, like anything deep, because they will start seeing you as vulnerable. And then the day that you actually piss them off, yes, they have a stock or a file. Yeah, receipts. They'll come with all the receipts. And now suddenly you're, I don't know, feminine, blah, blah, blah. Yes, so I like chilling with millennial women. They are very nice. You can go deep.
Pause.
Keep
You're doing great.
Mentally and emotionally deep. And then, you know, they just uplift you. You can talk about your dreams and they help you grow. You know,
We're
they
talking
have
about
vision.
millennial women.
Well, for me, that's, I don't know if they're babying me, I don't know.
There's something, yeah.
Yeah, but I just like millennial women. They're so nice. They're just nice.
Are you saying that the emotion...
You look like you're thinking about someone as you talk. So we're not going to say
No, about 4 people.
crazy.
That's crazy talk, man.
crazy.
Are you saying that like the emotional development from Gen Zs isn't matched with the reception of Gen Z women? Like it's a negative when it comes to relationships. Because I would have thought, from what I hear, they want more emotional availability, they want more vulnerability, etc. Or is that informative?
They just want money.
Well, I
Point blank.
Let me stop Albi from putting his drum on the microphone. And let me pass this ball immediately to Mr. Muli, please. Let the drama is...
We'll come back to it.
It's okay, we'll talk, we'll discuss.
It's therapy for him.
It's therapy for sure.
I think she needs this. So, but I think for me, I've had a different experience.
Yeah.
I think deep calls to deep. So when you're a deep person, you end up attracting deep people.
Hey, Ngori.
So
Ngori.
I've had, but to be fair, I've had a fair share of what he said, shallow women who are very materialistically driven.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call it's only Gen Zs, because even millennials also like that. And I think the bridge is, for me, I used to attract older women. I experienced them. It was peace, but then there's just the weight of like, you will always be a boy. You know, I think that's the problem when you're young and you're handsome and you're a bit attractive. You attract young and old.
So you don't like being babied?
No, sometimes I do.
You know, little spoon. It's crazy.
Yeah, little spoon sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
But I think from my experiences, I've seen what he said is that there's a lot of sometimes emotional instability from hurt. So some people are very hurt that they just want to hurt men. And so when you're trying to heal, you come across someone who's extremely toxic. So you may not see that that's not everyone, but at this point in your journey, you may be attracting someone who's just unstable. So you have to understand. I think I'm not a generalizer. I don't like to generalize a whole generation based on maybe a few million. So I would say there are many people who are now trying their best to be more emotionally present, carrying making sure that, like he said, you're you're breaking generational traumas. So it's like your parents would never be able to sit down with each other and talk about their emotions. It's either someone is storming out, it's either you take a week off, then you come back together, you smile, you say, hi baby, how are you, I missed you, then you move on. But you never really address things. So I think now we have a lot more confrontational women who will see something and say, yo, listen, nigga, this ain't sliding. Like, and so I think there's those elements of I've seen there's like a pursuit of growth, so a lot of Gen Z relationships are now like I'm grateful I have many friends who are in relationships, and I've seen how that dynamic works, and it's like people actually want to get married, contrary to what we see online. There actually are people who want to have a healthy relationship, kids the traditional way, but it's like it's not everyone. So it's but there's hope. That's what I'm trying to say.
Balanced. There we go. Yeah.
I think, they'll always say the negatives. No one ever tells you about a plane that landed. Yeah.
Facts.
They'll always tell you about the plane that crashed. That's what media feeds us. Also, like Muli, I think I don't like to generalize a generation. I think it's also just who you attract and who you are as a person. Because there's something I watched by Jay Shetty, and he said, write down 5 things in a partner and ask yourself, are you those 5 things? And most likely a lot of us are. Because me, when I wrote my list, I was like, I don't want a babe for benders. I don't, And I'm like, damn, bro, you're asking something from someone that you're not even giving yourself. So it's that kind of reflection that needs to happen. And it happens to people when they're 50. It happens to people when they're 20. It's just the right person. I think I know, like, one of my friends, I think she's probably one of like the most mature people I've ever met, like emotionally, like all that. And it's crazy to see that, but it's also because she's been through a lot. I keep on joking. The other day I was telling my friends, I'm like, maybe I just need to look for like a babe who's been through something and now she's ready to flip or change, because there's that character development that has been through. Because I also feel like for me, if I didn't go through what I went through, I'd probably be a dickhead to date. I was actually, but character development showed me better.
I think it depends how you react to the situation, because sometimes you can receive a trial and you experience it, but you don't grow. You just take the trauma on, you take the bitterness, you keep moving to the next situation. But until you decide this pattern's going to change, you can meet the girl that's going to have all the experiences, but they're not healed. So you're still going to deal with what the first boyfriend dealt with. So I think it's a choice. I like that the fact that you said from your experience, you decided to grow and turn the corner. So I feel like you need to meet someone that did the same work that you did, because all trauma was not dealt with.
I'll because Albi's perspective
it's valid.
Is a perspective. We must address it. We must address it. The thing is, my advice would be, see, what you've done is you've constructed a garden. It's a lovely garden. Apples, oranges, grapes, the way you're saying bananas on set.
Who, me or them?
Your sound check.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, your sound check was fruits. So you've constructed this lovely garden. You've done a lot of work to get to where you are right now.
Yeah.
The trouble is that different fruits attract different animals. So sometimes you don't be surprised.
Hey, you're a guy for 6 years in the game.
a guy. Relax. So don't be surprised if you find a monkey in the wrong tree eating fruits that you don't want the monkey to eat. But it is you who should make sure that your garden has enough security. Make sure that no animals are just entering in and out of your garden to enjoy your fruits and your abundance.
That's wisdom,
You have understood? So you might cry, women are materialistic. I don't like women. These ones are stressed, they are toxic, there's no emotional depth. But where is the fence keeping out the monkeys? Because you're letting them enter the garden and eat the fruits.
No, okay, I actually know what my problem is. I have the savior mentality.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, so I feel like every interaction starts off with me being a spoiling person, saving everyone. You have a problem here, I'll spoil you there. And then it ends up becoming a thing. Yeah,
just put the fence.
I should stop spoiling them.
No, put the fence. Know what you want to enter your life in and out. Once you have that security feature, you will be shocked. The only people who you want to enjoy your fruits in the garden will enter to enjoy those fruits. You can't live in a house which is a nyumba ya kifahari in a gate. Kila mtu anaingia akitoka. And then you start saying women are materialistic. That was, you'll find us as men also, the problem is that we see a nyash. It's a materialistic nyash, but it's a nyash. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's the thing. Like that's the wisdom. I think that like personally, I've also had to apply to my own life and in relationships. And we learned these lessons with you like very painfully. Imagine Mr. Mwenda.
Oh my goodness.
Very painfully. We learned these lessons.
From the fire, brother.
From the fire.
Hello.
You're there, you're thinking, I'm not the problem. I'm doing the right thing. I'm the guy who's supposed to be helping this. You know, she came to me. She came to me. Yeah, you sound like that. But the reality is you could have said no. You could have said, no, thanks. I don't think this is working. Let me just give me my space. I'm very busy. I'm doing my own thing. And over time, you start sounding like the two men to my left and right. Start sounding like somebody here who on set was doing other things I can't say. But you see, like you start sounding much more stable.
Maybe I can pose a question to him. Bro, I just also would like to think like with almost 1 million followers, how your DMs look.
It's crazy.
Because now when Oscar's given his example, I'm just like, this guy's DMs must be flooding. And me no care, bro. If I was a few years younger and my DMs are flooding like that, bro, even me, I'm trying everything. You know, like you just gotta be honest.
Yeah,
you
that's
get,
the thing
so
about,
you know your girl is that, you know,
there's so
it's
many
like,
distractions.
You know, it's going to point.
It's okay.
Tell us, brother.
Yeah.
Tell us, man. I mean, that kind of perspective you've had, first of all, that's fantastic advice. And I think you have to, it starts with you, because that person's going to carry on with their life. They're going to keep doing what they're doing unless they reflect. But on your part, you're going to keep attracting those people unless you sit, you do the journal, and you say, okay, what is it about me first that's making me attract those people? What's the gap that they're filling that I'm not filling for myself? Because I feel like you need to be whole before you get somebody that's going to be extractive and want money, etc. So I feel like starting with very hard questions. I'd love to see the journal. Very hard questions with yourself and looking for patterns. Like, what did this person give me that I couldn't give myself? So when you turn up for the next person, you're turning up whole without compromise. And I think as a man as well, like once you've curated your life and you've curated what your boundaries are, just never compromising.
Exactly.
Because otherwise you'll compromise because you feel a touch of loneliness, and typically you wouldn't allow this in to the garden. But because of the way you're at, and because you need that place filled, you accept it, you get damaged, you come back, you're like, okay, there's nothing in the garden. So I feel that's fantastic advice, and I've done what they're saying and it works.
To recover relationships.
Therapy.
That was powerful.
And if you struggle with doing the self-work, do you go to therapy yourself?
Yeah. Like thrice a month.
Twice a month, I'd go more.
Twice a month is a session every week, bro.
Do you know what it is? I feel like there's phases where, from the way you're talking, I'm not a therapist. From the way you're talking, I feel like you need a condensed period where you're going a bit more regular, and then you can start spreading it out. Because for that to be your reaction means there's a lot of stuff.
Okay, no, it's just because I'm talking right now as things are happening behind the scenes.
And
so
I
have a lot of trauma I've brought onto this chair.
That's why you're not judged for this.
We're here to have
You're
a
not judged for it, but like, bro, like.
And you see, that's what important brotherhood is about. It's talking and having this honest and real conversations.
Everyone has their hot seat moments.
You should say an episode we did back then called Heartbreak Hotel.
Oh my goodness.
We did that when how many years ago?
2.5.
4.
No,
three.
Was this with Jules?
Yeah, with Jules, and
that's 3 years. 3
years ago.
3.5. Yeah.
Like that time, Heartbreak was fresh. Breakups were fresh. We went there to bring it to the podcast.
What about you guys' relationship experiences? I mean, you guys are angst status, bro. Real life angst. You know what I mean?
Does any of you have kids?
No.
Okay, so what's going on in your perspective? You asked us Gen Zs, but you guys have seen it all.
All is very broad.
All is broad.
Specifically what? Because I think it's such a
in your relationship experiences, what's what you asked? What's the difference between how we as Gen Z treat women and how millennials treat women? I wanna know your answer.
I'll let Oscar go first.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
I think I'll give you the perspective of, I think for me it's a maturity and an understanding in whatever it is that the problems that women present and the opportunities they present. You have to understand that fundamentally the woman who I'm speaking to now as a man is probably going to be the mother of my children. This is a very different perspective from when I was young and I was like, there's no family in the horizon, I'm just having fun. You get what I mean? Now when I talk to a shorty and we're in a relationship, I can hear the Rurashio cows. I can hear I have to assess her from a perspective of motherhood, from a perspective of my needs as a man now, especially now after I've gone through all this. And also, there's a lot of trauma that you can carry. This is why, like with Albie, we had to stop for a second to like, yeah, like we need to hear this, because like as men, unfortunately, as we go through different phases of life, there are people who will come and who will go, and we will learn the lessons, but still carry a lot of that pain. So how we address that pain as men really defines the quality of our relationships as we enter now marriages. You understand what I'm saying? So now a lot of the work is introspective. A lot of the work is, okay, like I've been in 3 or 4 relationships. They broke down for certain reasons. Why? Right? Why didn't they work? What was my role in making sure they don't work? Am I, what do I need to put in place in my own life to attract the type of woman I want? Do I even have an understanding of the type of woman that I want? So at this point, it's a matter of self-learning, because now this is the low-key final roll of the dice. Low-key, I don't want to sound urgent, but like it's low-key, like you're Caribbean in that age where now you can start to see like there's a family around the corner, and you need to be very careful and particular about your needs and that other person who you're attracting in your life. So that's the first perspective. The second perspective is now you begin to understand your own trauma as a man in terms of your cultural, like the cultural net that has been put into you. When you're young, you're still very liberal. You're taking ideas left, right, and center. You're very open. But as you grow older as a man, you start to realize there are certain values that I hold paramount. I'm strict about. When I was young, I was flexible, but now I know the value of this. I know the value of this particular type of woman. I know the value of making sure this particular type of person stays out of my life, because those are now hard lessons that you have learned. Right? So it makes you very, very particular on who it is you want and why it is that you want them. So I think those 2 pieces of like the background history of how I've dated and how I'm dealing with myself and learning and how I've participated in those relationships and what it is that I want and why, they really change the way I behave in a relationship.
So let's say you have everything in a partner, but she has kids. Are you going to take them on?
It's a trap question, but I'll take it. It's a trap question. A trap question. Okay. Personally, the answer is always it depends, right? Because I understand what it means to be a man, and I understand what it means to be a father. But then I also understand what those needs require of me as a father. As a father, the question is, if I have the choice, right? If right now I'm in this situation in my life where I have the choice not to indulge and entertain in that, I personally prefer to say hard pass. Like I honestly, based on my own values and who I want to be as a man in a family, I come from a family personally where we've had a number of homes. I've experienced it. I really don't want it for myself. I want to have a stable, solid home. Not to say that someone with kids won't give me a stable, solid home, but for me, my own personal, my personal hardline from my own lessons and my backstory don't allow me to participate in relationships in that way. But if there's a man who can, congratulations, won't judge him for making that decision. Yeah. Mr. Mwenda.
That's such an interesting question. I'll start with the kids one, go backwards. I think, for me, it's case by case. I think there has to be a bit of context as to how and why and what that looks like in your life and how you're going to show up for us. Because I think there's scenarios where you can let it not slide, but you can accommodate. But if I had a preference, I think very similar to, I'd really love the idea of starting my whole family. And I feel like the more, in my opinion, I feel like the more context and stories you bring to a relationship, the more things you have to work through, unless you have very clear lines that you don't explore those pasts. Yes. So I think my preference would be no, but I wouldn't reject someone if they had all of the qualities, because if they have all the qualities, it's a happier life than compromising on the kid and having someone with less qualities and more stress later on. So yeah, I think my preference would be no, but I would accommodate if she hits everything that I need at that phase of my life. And in terms of what I've learned, this is very apt. In terms of what I've learned from relationships, it's really weird because I think me and O are in very similar spaces in our life. I think the relationships I've gone into, I've compromised way too much. And it's kind of why I was giving Albie the same advice. I think for me, I assumed that having a certain mindset means you can compromise and accommodate certain things that don't align with your moral compass. And because I put love above some things that are my fundamentals, I suffered the consequence of that. So I think going in, the same way I was saying to Albie about having the barriers in the garden, it's just going to take way more than love, affection, excitement for somebody to access me in that way going forward. I think that can only come because I spent a very long period of my time single. That can only come with certain experiences.
Yeah.
So I'm in this space where it's a higher wall to climb, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Can I also add something there that is touched on that I don't want us to miss? At our age, love becomes logistics. It doesn't become I love her.
Feeling.
It's a feeling in my chest. It's a decision.
Yeah.
Because and when I say love is logistics, because like I've told you, now you can see a family in the corner. Where you are as a man will determine the quality of life of the home. Are you able to pull this much USD a year? Are the kids which school will they go? Because you can pull that. This lady who's coming in, what is she bringing also to add to your home and to your household? And you see, because you make your life way more comfortable if you have the right person with the right values and that similar mindset that you were talking about earlier into a home. Because now you can see a fruitful family coming out of it. But if you're thinking about love with your chest, where your heart is pumping blood.
It's important, but it's not.
Yeah, it's important, but use
not,
your brain. Let the heart pump blood. Don't let it start telling you, my heart. When it's time for school fees, you can't play with heartbeats, my friend. You pay with actual cash. So love becomes logistics at our age because somebody wants to live a particular quality of life, and you want to live a particular quality of life, and now you are aligning on that on top of the love. That's what Ila is also saying. Like if you start compromising, you know, put yourself in a situation where you're playing a very difficult game called life with a handicap.
Yeah, facts.
You know,
Facts.
I think you guys have brought interesting points into the conversation. So actually, I want us to do something quick exercise, starting with Muli.
Oh boy.
Top 5 or 3 qualities that you look for, because now you're saying love is not love. So there could be a man listening to this and was like, okay, so these qualities or these attributes that these guys are explaining or are looking for, these fundamentals, what are they? Of course, it's different for everybody. So let's start with Muli.
Emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
Number one.
Come on now.
Loyal. That's a no-brainer.
What?
Loyal.
Yeah.
Too many people nowadays date with their options open. You know, so we're in a relationship, but I'm still on Tinder. I'm just looking at who could I end up being that's potentially better than you. So I think those two are no-brainers. You said 5.
3, 4,
let me
whichever. Whatever you start, will follow.
Yeah. Loyal. Can she turn her house into a home? That's the third one. So her character. 4. What's the level of her depth? And that's a very multifaceted thing.
You guys are saying.
No, let me explain. Let me land. So with depth, for me, it's what's your package that you're coming into the relationship with, like your past. I think that matters. Because many times you find women in the early phases wilded out, done X, Y, and Z, then they reach a certain age and are ready to settle down. But then they're coming with a lot of baggage. So for me, it's like there's a level of innocence that I want, to be honest. And so that 4th one is a big one. And then the 5th one, I want someone who's always willing to grow. You guys go ahead.
Love that. Damn, I wish I was that wise at your age, man. Crazy. I think for me would be privacy, number one. Then I want to do like a hyphen. So like honesty and transparency, because they're different, right? So I feel like honesty is when you're asked a question. Transparency is volunteering the information.
Come on.
So I feel like I need that as like a double barrel, right?
You're preaching that culture some people in the audience.
So that I feel like there's some. I think respect as well. Number 3. I think respect, like overall respect for me, respect for my family, my boundaries, the people in my life, my time, respect. I think everyone always says family oriented, but I think I just wouldn't talk to you if you're not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's such a, I would also say I need humor I need to laugh. Like I'm sorry, life is too deep. Like I need to be able to come home and
You said that.
Yeah,
Now you're saying life is too deep.
Yeah,
It's balance.
But balance is good.
I'd say laughter, and then I think my final one would be patience. Yeah, that'd be my 5. I'll be. Talk to me.
Okay, wow. I'd say firstly duality. Like I want someone just the same way you've said. I want someone who's serious and someone who can also be goofy with me because we want to dance around at 3 a.m. Yeah, and next I'd say I want someone mentally deep. Yeah, because the mental world is very big to me. So I want someone who understands the whole concept of the mental world, and I can be able to talk to you about many things you'd understand and help me through it. So you just have to be
An
mentally
intellectual
aware.
peer.
Yes. Someone who is emotionally present, aware, knowledgeable, because we have this tendency as Gen Zs to be very avoidant and all those attachment styles. Do you guys believe? Yeah. So Gen Zs, we have problems. We need psychiatrists.
We all do, brother.
Everyone.
Yes.
I'll be a
I want someone who won't run away, someone who knows how to build something with me emotionally, because I want a team. I don't want to go into kingdom with my head forward and you just holding my shirt from the back. I want to walk with you.
Can we go?
Yeah.
I love that. Love that.
And then I want someone who is humble, not humble, humility. I want someone with humility. It's a big thing to me. Like no matter what level of status or anything in life we get to, I want to know that I can be with someone who will still sit on the road with me and play with kids and touch lives out there.
Wow.
Hey. Okay.
We underestimated you, brother.
Yeah,
You know what you're saying.
He knows what you're saying. He knows
Yes, I
what
think
you're
those
saying.
are 4. One more, Bunda.
Come on.
Yes.
After some years, the Bunda.
I know. For you.
This day.
Oscar's hungry.
It's similar to family.
Silicon, no?
It's similar to family oriented.
Family oriented. That's what it means. Anyway,
There.
yeah, I think I've been very deep, but Bunda is very important. I agree with you. It's key, fundamental.
Okay.
Fundamental is crazy.
Fundamental. Fun in the
You're on your
fundamental.
5. You're on your 5. You've used 1.
Yes.
It's almost
Just saying.
The answer is fundamental. Thank you
there
very
you
much. But I think what I've come to realize with my limited experience in relationships is kindness.
Why did you say limited?
Limited.
But it's okay.
Limited, man. Limited. No, I'm not here drowning while others are
Okay,
thirsty.
that's
I disagree. That's a close one.
Oscar is playing. He's playing.
Hey, what are you guys?
No, we see a man when he's playing the field. We know.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Iniesta. So yeah, for me, I think it's kindness. Kindness is paramount. I think a kind person attracts a lot of goodness in their life, and I'd like to attract that goodness into my family. Kindness is very paramount. The second thing is I want an intellectual peer, much like Albie. Unfortunately, I'll get bored if I'm not in a situation where I can bounce ideas off of you. I do so much in my day, producing Mantalk, investing, assisting with business and family businesses, chilling with my boys from South Sea, chilling with Eli and his UK perspective. I need an intellectual peer, intellectual. She enters a room, she can do a few things. So yeah, that's really, really important to me. The third thing that's really, really important is a forgiving person. Something I've learned in my recent years is that there's a tendency for people to hold a lot of bitterness as a relationship transpires, and the longer it goes, it's like this depreciation that's just tearing away.
Resentment.
At a relationship. You think you're building a home, kumbe there's depreciation on the rocks.
There's a list.
Nyumba inaanguka. You're building, she's taking away rocks behind you because she's bitter or angry about something that she's not willing to communicate with you.
Wow.
And so that forgiving nature of realizing that I'm not a perfect person, I'm going to make mistakes. I think is really, really important, and like it also allows me as a man to sit down and self-reflect on ways in which I've hurt someone and ways in which I can change and evolve. So that forgiving nature and then emotional intelligence away from the forgiving nature, which is, and when I say emotionally intelligent, I mean somebody who's situationally aware.
Yeah, socially
right?
intelligent.
Yeah, that as well, right? Because you'll find that at some point as men, we get to a point our economic value can only go up in tandem with our social value. Right now, obviously, you guys are doing well, millions of TikToks, reels and stuff. But like when you look at Mantalk where it is now as a podcast, the economic value of Mantalk can only grow if I meet the right people. The marketer in this office, the MD, the CEO of that office. You get what I mean? So that emotional intelligence comes with that social flexibility of being able to introduce me to the right people, teach me how to conduct myself in spaces I don't know how to conduct, be an ambassador for a relationship, and then also at the same time take care of me and my needs as a man emotionally. Like, so that's emotional intelligence, that range.
Yeah.
I think is really, really important. Hiyo ni tatu.
Yeah, and you said bunda.
And niliweka bunda, so
told
ni
you,
nne.
you
So
won.
the last one, the last one that I think is very, very important is I need somebody who's a nurturing spirit. Let me tell you, my boys, what he's complaining about is because he's meeting women with no nurturing spirit.
Come on.
She's not there to build. She's not there to assist in building. She's there to extract.
Yeah.
Now, when you're in a situation like that as a man, I'm telling you, my guy, like there's no more painful thing than getting to a point in your relationship and you realize that, Allah, I've been pouring into this cup, I've been pouring and pouring and pouring, and like
There's no ROI.
exactly, not ROI, I'd say, because there's no real ROI on emotions, but I'd say like you're now tired, umechoka.
It's a team, right?
Yeah, it's a team.
One pouring,
So
yeah.
I've had to. So thank God, I've been blessed enough not to experience that to its fullest, to the maximum. But I've seen people really break down because of that, and that's something I think a lesson I decided to avoid.
Yeah.
That's wisdom right there.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
No, that was a crazy exercise. Wow.
Yes, coach.
It's a two-part.
I started the question and then the answers are crazy. It's come back to me and it's wild. For me, I think the other four is in no particular order.
Yeah.
But number one is faith. I don't think I can date someone without faith, Whatever your faith is, that's okay. But I think faith keeps on people moving during bad times and hard times, Because a relationship won't always be up, It'll have that. And it's the faith that keeps you going. So faith, I think, is key for me. I'd never seen it exactly what you said it, but I know that now I know what you call it. It's called nurture. I'm a builder, I'm an entrepreneur, so I need someone who's willing to build with me or assist the building, I need someone who's going to dream, who's going to, the other one that you've also said as well that I think I have is someone who's smart, someone who will challenge me, someone who will watch the podcast and say, hey, yo, Tupac, I didn't agree with that opinion. Not someone who's always going to say, yeah, I agree with that, I agree,
Facts.
I'd get bored of someone like that because as much as I'd like to have fun, I also like to have some intellectual conversations, Family oriented. I think for me, the biggest thing is family. There's relationships I've entered just because the mom treated me as a son, and I shouldn't have entered those relationships. But there's something about family, No, like, you see, the thing is, like, there's just something about family, Because me, I've taken my babes on, like, family holiday. Or, like, if it's my parents' anniversary, we invite them. There's those kind of things. So I'd also like that reciprocation. Not that, hey, my
You
mom...
want to go to their family holidays?
No, not that. But, like, family event or something,
Yeah, I get it.
The last one is a bit controversial and some people don't like it when I say this, but like for me, I think it's something that I've seen, especially with the experiences and also the female friends I've had. I think something that for me is very important, I call it is FFP. Yeah, and FFP stands for father figure present. Yeah. So it's why I say, no, listen, don't laugh.
I've been given smoke for this conversation.
Yeah, but no, yeah. Let me explain it to you. Why it's FFP and it's father figure present is there's for so many reasons someone might not have a father figure present. Their real father could have passed away. Their real father could have abandoned them, whatever. But whenever there's not that thing, or someone comes in and takes that space, there's something that someone looks for you in a relationship that you as a growing man cannot give.
Yeah.
Wait, is he talking about daddy issues?
Basically.
Yeah,
In a
yeah,
sense,
these Gen Zers are strict.
No, like it's
Yes, I feel you.
yeah.
Yeah. It's fine.
Interesting.
No,
But do you know what? Do you know what? We always say on Mantalk that it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like there might be a young lady that maybe, as much as she's looked for those, that kind of hole to be filled,
Yeah.
by somebody in terms of father figure, maybe they've looked, they've never found it, but they've decided I can do the work to give that to myself.
Yes.
So they don't have to, not to use the word, but extract it from their next partner. So do
me-
you
And
feel
that's
like
why
you could?
that's why also I'll take you back, yeah.
Let me hear too,
And that's
but-
why I said my number one thing is faith, yes.
Okay.
And you might not have a father, but
There we
God
go.
is everyone's
There we
father.
go. There we
You
go.
get?
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
I'd also like to
Oscar, why are you laughing?
No, I actually hear what you're saying. Because
No, keep going, my brother.
essentially, father is like stability.
Let him go. Let him
Yeah.
no,
go.
no,
yeah, he's
like,
cooking.
like look,
Yeah.
look, the even the women in the room are agreeing with that point because they know there's a lack or there's a gap
It's a
that
void, yeah.
there's a void and you can't feel it as a man.
Yeah.
You know, as hard as you try, as nice as you are, that savior, it can't work.
It'll never be enough.
You get, and of course, there's things like therapy that can heal that and everything, but yeah,
You're right.
but of course, it's the fault is us. The fault is us men for disappearing on things that we start or not filling those positions.
No, not us. The
It's the generation.
Yeah, the
Not us millennials.
Yeah.
Father figure present.
I think what I like, because at some point we were on different sides of the fence, but as soon as you introduce the idea of spirituality and our father being that figure they can lean on, because essentially it's not about a human, it's about the feeling you get and the comfort you get when there's a dire situation, because your dad's Superman, right? Until he's not.
Yeah.
So I feel like for a lady, if there's no father figure and they need that assurity, they might have gone, if they don't have faith, they might have gone to their dad, sat down, expressed themselves, it's going to be okay, let me fix the problem for you. If you don't have that, and you go to your spiritual father, you let it all out, and then he fixes the situation for you if you have that kind of faith. So I see what you mean in terms of plugging that hole with faith.
I'd like to see what
Yeah.
Oscar's opinion is. He's really laughed and cried and whatever.
Hey, my guy said, if you don't have a father, find a spiritual one. Find a daddy. It's ain't gonna be me.
By the way,
The only daddy we have is Christ.
oh wow.
I think that's why I'm dying, because I can imagine you in a bar like breaking up with a shorty. I think you have no father figures present. He has a Bible. But anyway, okay. I think the way I'd address that is, I do agree with you in the sense that sometimes women come to a man and they expect that man to be Superman, that they have no real concept or real understanding of what it is to be with a man actually, because they've never experienced who a man is. They have no idea what a man is. There's a lot of broken homes, a lot of broken families. And so the idea that she has of you as a man is as this Superman, this guy who comes in and fixes everything, takes her to the places she's never been, does all of these magical things and uses a wand to get you there. And so you find that it manifests in relationships in very destructive ways, especially when we're young men, especially when you're, I think I faced that issue when I was I was in my mid-20s a lot. And even now, as I enter my early 30s and I've accumulated some of that life experience and some of the things, the shiny things that attracts that particular type of woman, I realize that I have to be much more kind. I have to be kinder to women who come to me with that expectation. I have to actually tell them, like you've said, look, this is who I am and this is what I bring to the table. If this is not enough for you, and you're trying to make me your father, your daddy, or you're trying to make me this Superman that I'm not, it's fine, and an amungu. Like that approach, I agree with it. But then I'd also balance it by saying, we have to give people grace.
And one thing when it comes to now being a public figure, I always used to pray and tell God, listen, I don't want to find my wife when I've made it, when I've built everything for myself.
Eli,
Because it's hard.
Keep talk louder.
It's hard.
You have this debate for 4 years.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because you see, like what you said right there is very valid. But then a woman will see, oh, you're online, you have this lifestyle. Immediately, she'll be like, you have to provide this lifestyle for me. So you may be making money for yourself, but you don't have money for both you and her. But she may not see that. Then she'll say, oh, you're selfish, you're greedy, you're prideful.
Or you're broke, like as
straight
most
up.
people tend to say. And you see it now, like that's the game I'm trying to tell you. you, like, you're not going to meet one woman or two who are like that. You're going to meet 20.
Yeah.
Right? So like, or even 100. Probably a lot of the women who will be entering your life by virtue of
For Albi, it's like 500.
for 5,000. It's a million.
Yeah, million.
So like you have to kind of also, this is what I'm saying, give some grace to the person who's come, because some people are living in patterns that they don't realize they need to break. You just need to tell them as a man, like, change that. But then if it does,
So how do you tell them?
you tell them.
And then,
Bro, those patterns are actually also, those patterns are actually very like
how
not
do you
hidden.
tell the
Some of them are
avoidance?
very readable. You can see it. You can actually see
But some are soul wounds, and soul wounds are not something you can easily see.
Yeah.
It's like a situation happens, then something is triggered.
Wait, I want to give us a practical example.
Okay.
There's someone who's an avoidant and she has feelings. So how do I tell her to break that chain of just communication?
You tell us. This is the way you've told me.
Yeah.
In a sensitive way, because like
I think it's risky unless you're a therapist to tell somebody this is wrong.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like what you can maybe do is be the polar energy and the comfort if you're seeing there's a problem. So if you're seeing there's like an avoidance, as a man and you're leading, maybe you open the door so that she can feel a bit safer with that avoidance until herself is ready to work on it. Because I don't think you can tell somebody you're an avoidant, you've got this attachment issue.
And they won't even see it.
They won't see it until they see it for themselves. But create the environment
You're really
for them
thinking,
to go down that road, and then they'll figure it out by themselves. But if you don't have the capacity for that, then I wouldn't explore that kind of relationship.
Yeah,
no,
well,
I made the road, but
you see, like the way me I do it, like Eli, you're saying, I'd be like, I wouldn't put like, you're an avoidant. fine. I won't put it that way. But then the thing is, address it. The trouble is that if you don't address it, it keeps eating at you, and you'll grow in terms of being resentful. But what I think is really important is to communicate and solve. Like, anyway,
It's in your nature. As a man, you're a problem solver. So
But I don't think you can change people, man. I think all you can do, I personally think, and we can be on different sides of the fence, is just, as a man, I feel like it's for you to create the environment for that person to thrive with whatever they have going on.
Yeah.
And then be impatient so that they can work on themselves with you.
Exactly.
But it's an independent journey. You
Yeah.
can't sit with someone and say they'll change in a few months and we'll be good.
You're
That's
driving,
never going to happen.
Yeah, you're driving two different cars on one lane.
Yeah, you can't do that.
but that's a painful journey.
yeah.
Because now, like, I make the environment for you, but then you don't want to jump in, so I'm just there looking at you like a TV because you're pretty.
And that's
how you're looking.
I think
Awareness is a journey,
Yeah,
Self-awareness has its costs. Because again, I not flex, but writing a book about the art of awareness, you need to be so introspective about everything. Because there's so many people who have a level of awareness, but they can't answer the questions. Like, for example, on Tupac's journal. So it's like, for me, my awareness is you look at yourself in the mirror and actually say, okay, I'm avoiding this. Why? Like, what's actually the problem behind what is it that's triggering me? Is it because I have a fear of being a burden? Is it because I have a fear of loneliness?
Yeah.
Because the things that come like soul wounds are something that so many people are carrying, and it's like no one faces it until it's triggered. So it's like sometimes you just need to have that awareness that, like Tupac, I think off camera, we're talking about, like, there's some things that just trigger you. So you don't put yourself in an environment where that trigger can come, because you still not fully learned how to heal from it. Like a wound will hurt if you touch it. So everyone is wounded in this world.
I like Eli's perspective also, and his perspective on how, like, as a man, you must prioritize your stability. That's what he's saying. Like, be aware, self-aware enough to know this is as far as I'm willing to go. And if I'm going further, why am I going that further? What is it about me that's making me tolerate this or want to do this within a certain situation? But your role, fundamentally, my understanding of as a man in a relationship, is you build the house, you build the fence, you make sure the garden is trimmed, you cut everything. It's the girl's role to enter said house and then make it into a home. Now, if said person can't or doesn't want to do that, don't go and force the person. You can't drag her into that situation.
100%.
She has to be the one you've created the environment. She has to be the one to want to change, not for you, which is also toxic. For herself.
Why are you guys single? I think that's a question we need to address, because you've named the 5 things and you've gone in depth, everyone one by one, and we let the people know what is. We understand the standards are high. Like, you've gone to a place where there's non-negotiables. So for a lady who's listening, but she may feel like, hey, I don't know if I'm good enough for this guy. But like you, if you see her, you're like, oh, this is someone I'm looking for. How can you address that? Tell her, why are you single?
Why am I single? Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first.
brother.
First of all, who told you I'm single?
Hello, there he is.
All right.
Careful there, brother.
Yeah.
Assumptions.
Okay.
I'm an old man now. No. But yeah, but like, all I'll say, you know, like I've told you, you're now at that age where the church bells are closer. So I'm using this period to put myself in a position to be a better man, better father.
Are you scared of divorce? Or
Not
like
divorce,
if you choose
not
choose
divorce. I am scared of choosing wrong.
Okay.
You're not wrong there. It is a fear.
Yeah.
And it's a legitimate fear because choosing a partner is the most delicate, the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. Every guy tells you.
100%.
But as you grow older and you enter your 30s, that's when you realize the meaning of that word. Because at this stage, you've poured a lot of the investment into yourself in your 20s. And you also have a very deep understanding of your weaknesses. So dating is no longer this process that is just happy, free, go lucky.
Yeah.
It's a deliberate, slow process. And also at the same time, me as a man, I must be able to do the thing that I have just advised Albie to do, which is I must build the garden that attracts the type of animals I want to see inside that garden.
But you know, millennial women, they don't have time to waste. So I know you're in a
No. But who said
it's a slow and process.
But you see, you guys that's not liking Gen Z girls, and I'm hearing about FFP.
So there's options.
I might be the FFP. So relax. You're saying Gen Z girls are for the fig. Me, I'm a father fig. But anyways,
What I'm saying is a lot of women are ready to get married.
but you see,
Like 2 dates, why are we waiting?
Do not. It is me who picks the women.
Okay, yeah.
It is me.
You're
It
the
is me
prize.
who will pick.
We're sorry.
It is me. It is not how will pick me.
You're the prize.
It is me who
We
will
are
pick.
sorry.
No, it's not about being the prize.
No, we understand you're the prize.
It's about, listen, it's about, let me tell you, the fundamental thing I'm trying to put across here is that it is you as a man who picks the woman in your life, and you ask God to bring that woman around you so that you can pick her.
Okay.
Yeah, it is you who makes the choosing.
Eve was
It is not
presented
the
to
woman.
Adam.
It is not the woman who chooses you. If you're in a situation where you're letting women choose you as the husband, that is the mistake you're making. Okay. Even biblically, I've heard you throw around Bible verses, my brother. But like, Ruth was asleep. Boaz is the one who came and told her, Madam,
Yeah.
get up. It is you that I want. So like, me as a man, like where I am, I must create the type of abundance that allows me to attract the woman that I want to have, that I'm trusting God to bring. It's not going to be me or a woman telling me that I'm the one who should look her direction. So that's where I am. Like, I'm in that phase where it's like, I need to create myself and build myself into that man now. And I'm at those final stages of doing that work. Yeah. And to ask God to like bring that woman around. She's not come around yet, so God knows what he's doing. But when it's time, I will see. And because I'm Meru, I will decide.
What about you, Eli? What are your fears behind this? Like, dive deep.
I don't really have. I have obviously the fear similar to Oscar of choosing wrong, but I think you can't operate from that place because I feel like what I'm leaning on more is less of like my own understanding, and I feel that prior maybe I pushed things within the timeline I wanted. So I think why I'm single at the moment is because I'm waiting for a power bigger than me to put me in a situation, because I feel like as an individual you can say you're never ready. You can say I'm ready now, I'm not ready now, but I realize our life path it's not dictated by us. All you can do is your best, put yourself in healthy situations, healthy environments, and then leave the rest to God. Because if you make a decision on your own, that's when the fear of failure comes for me. So I think I'm not forcing issues. I'm just living my life, doing the best I can every day, figuring it out. And when God decides to bring the partner to me, then I'll be ready. So I can't say that it's anything to do with my own understanding, my own actions. I just do the best I can and leave the rest to God. That's what I'm doing.
So you guys aren't dating. There's no one that's like even fit the category of dating. Because I know as men, there's levels. There's a woman you can go on a date and get to know, but then there's a woman you just wife.
Yeah, I've gone on dates, but it's not been the thing. So I'm not gonna pursue it because if I don't feel it, you know. So it's not like a profound thing for me. It's just it's not been the thing.
Yeah,
it's not been the thing, and maybe it's a reflection of me not being in the right place with a higher power as well, but it's not resonated, and if I don't feel it, I can't pursue. That's where I've been at. Yeah. But I'm at peace with where I am, man. I'm very
Even me.
very stable.
You're not
I'm not
desperate.
rushing because I've rushed before.
And when I've dated out of like loneliness or to be in something, it's been probably some of the worst relationships I've had.
Facts.
You know, but right now I'm actually also so at peace, like what they've said is. And I think what Oscar said was so important is, are you the person that you think should be with the person that you're trying to attract? So for me, even the other day I was seated with one of my mentors, and he was just like, he's a spiritual mentor, so he really like guides me in that and everything. And he's like, I think you're in like maybe a building stage or something, so don't try and pluck or don't try and put the seed and then dig after 5 minutes to check whether the seed has germinated. You continue doing what it is, and eventually it'll happen. And even if the people who help us run my podcast, they're like, hey, yo, you know how your life has changed in this year, Tupac? There's some girl out there that's fasting for you, but you're still not ready for her, because sometimes I have my crazy tendencies. But it's in the preparation of yourself. I don't think I'm also fully there to be with that person. And I think when I'm there, I won't even know myself. They'll just be like dropped in my life.
You might be there now. And you don't know.
I'll tell you this. The biggest illusion we had when we were young, I'll tell you, was we thought we were ready. I'll tell you. We thought we met our wives.
But what does that look like?
I'll tell you. We thought. We met girls that we were 100% sure this is where it ends. The safari is over. The journey is over.
Character or looks?
No, everything. Like, like that's the thing about relationships. That's why you're hearing, humility comes here when you're now in your early 30s. Humility starts here, where you're hearing all of us are telling you, hey, boss, by the way, it's not your powers. Because you see, when you're young and energetic and you're moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, everything's changing, everything's growing. And you expect the person next to you to be like, she's a lifer. But you don't know that down the road, something that you can't control, something you have no ability to change, will come and completely end that situation. And in fact, when you come out of that relationship, it's like a portal. You come out of the other side completely different from the way you went in. So like when you hear us, the older majama, we are telling you, pole pole, patience. It means it doesn't come from a place where we weren't living life without the handbrake, where we were going 100 and 110 miles with someone, thinking that this someone would be the one who would be with us enjoying the fruits of our work now. No, we got out on the other side and we found, Mantalk is this big podcast that can sit with young people like you and share perspectives. But the person who was there when it started is not here when it's at this stage. And that's a painful reality that you'll have to face a lot as a man, where you wish that the person who was with you in some days is no longer with you today. And you have to accept that. And it's probably in a sense, you can't even see each other in that way anymore.
Brother?
Spread a lot of wisdom.
Mic drop, yeah.
So if you, basically what we're telling you, ni pole pole. Usiulize ati why, no.
No, I'm just a curious guy.
Yeah.
I'm very good.
Why am I single? Because, okay, girls have been wilding, number one. Number two,
What does welding look like?
What does welding look like?
using me in the wrong ways.
But you want it to be used, no?
No, sometimes, okay. There's only one girl I want her, like, there's only one girl in New York. She's the only one I'd let use me.
I think this episode
It's gone left.
has gone left. So I'm going to ask kindly
Yeah.
everyone to give a parting shot, something you think a man out there can hear and feel inspired by, empowered by, about your brighter story. So
Something wisdomish or Gen Z-ish.
anything.
Combine it.
Yeah. Men, know your value. This generation will tear you down. These girls are coming for you. They're coming for everything. Protect your minds and your hearts. Yes.
and everyone's opinion is valid.
No, 100%.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
Mali?
I'd say if you're a dreamer, definitely choose your environment wisely, because dreamers are ostracized. Dreamers are ridiculed, mocked. So if you have a dream and right now you're in that stage where there's nothing that's showing the fruition of that dream, just keep your head down and understand that there's seasons of harvest for sure. And for me personally, the best thing that you can invest in is in your mind. you know. So the older we get, it's more about how can you really change and solve problems. So with us guys here sat here, it's a privilege to be here, but you know, we're here to really challenge the norm. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing new under the sun for sure, but every man is carrying something that not just a woman needs, but a generation needs. Because you know, if God can give us the ability to procreate a nation just from our own seed, you know what I mean? It means that you're carrying a lot. So know that you're carrying eternity within, even though you're still dust, you know? So it's a balance of humility, to know that there's never a place of arrival, and the destination is enjoyed through the journey. Yeah,
that book is gonna slap.
Amazing.
That book is that's. Really
I'm already
beautiful.
in chapter 2, but
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think for me is, first of all, your valuables do not determine your value. You know, I think as men we tie a lot of our value to the things we have or the things we've accomplished. You know, so it doesn't determine your value at all. The other thing is, for a man, or for men listening out to this out there, show up, you know, show up broken, show up tired, show up happy, show up hot, whatever mood you are in, just show up. And I think the more you show up, the more life, you know, shows up for you as well. You know, I always keep on telling people, if you stay at home or whatever and you're going through something, it doesn't get better. But go out there, walk something, you'll meet someone that will change your mind, you know. Yeah, and I think it's the last one is maybe to just say is that, you know, I think we're building more spaces like that. Like especially like for me, my channel, we want to do a men's conference this year, and it's limited tickets only, but there's like invite, and it's just addressing issues that us men don't get to talk about, and bringing people from different generations to come and break that, you know, gap. So let's create more spaces like that, you know. And finally, you know, I just want to thank, you know, Eli and Oscar and the whole Mantalk team for, you know, hosting us, you know.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Shout out.
It's definitely something that ever since I met the two of you was on my bucket list. So it feels nice. And I think I wrote this when I was just starting, a young, broken man. So it's also motivation to someone listening to this, that, you know, your dreams come true. Not at your time, but as God's time, as we've said. So thank you.
Amazing.
What about you guys?
I want to just firstly say to you three, the reason when we were having a conversation with Oscar, we wanted you to come on is because we're so proud of what you're doing. And I think as much as we've said Gen Z is very much progressive when it comes to mentality, I think in all of your spaces individually, you're very much leading the charge with that. From the vulnerable conversations, from the insights in the books, and from the smiling online, that's just as valuable. And I'm just really proud to see guys that are doing similar things we want to do at your age in this generation. So I'm very excited to see what you guys are going to do more. I think, Albie, what I want to say to you specifically is something that Dave Chappelle says. And he says that when a hero stumbles, cowards cheer. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that you've brought up is to do with those cowards cheering. And I feel like with the million, I would say just make sure that those cowards don't inform how you navigate. So I'm proud of what you're doing. I just want to see you make sure that that's not impacting you as much. Keep smiling, keep doing what you're doing. And I'd love to see you back and see the progression afterwards. Yeah. But what you're doing is beautiful. And yeah, keep your walls high, man, because don't let too many people in. 1 million is a lot of people.
1 million is a lot.
Yeah, and everything stays online. So just, keep those walls up and don't listen to the cowards.
Yeah.
You know? All right, love.
Mine is very simple. Very simple. I'm an old man now. Vijana ni kazi. Man is work. A man is his work. And the reason why you're here, there's a lot of pleasantries, very nice, but it's because of your work. The work you guys have done is what has brought you in this podcast. It was what has made us sit down and talk. It is the result of your sweat, your work, the sleepless nights, the dreaming, the hoping, the working. And please continue, keep putting your work in front of your ideas and your values. And I think you guys are going to be the generation that changes everything for us.
Yeah.
And I can't say how proud I am to have shared a podcast or a few hours with you guys. It's even me, I've learned as we've been going. And
On that note, shamelessly plug Motaji.
Yeah,
Come
man,
on
there
now.
we go. The word.
Come on, the
That's
dreamer.
the word.
Yeah,
that's the
the
word.
word.
Shout out.
That's the
The
word.
dreamer in Swahili, for those who don't know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We'll put all of their socials and everything they're doing in all the captions, man. But yeah,
So yeah,
we hope you enjoyed this episode.
half as much
As we enjoyed making it.
because we had a ball.
Thank you guys.
Hey.
Thank you guys.